Today you guys are mostly going to work on your Unit 2 review to get ready for your test. However, before we do that, you guys just took a quiz on writing, and we're going to talk about this quick worksheet about whether we think the function is in factored form, and then how would you attempt to solve that to get ready for our Unit 2 exam. So starting with number 1. If it's factored, that means everything is being held together through multiplication. These are all separate terms. These are not being multiplied. Therefore, this is not in factored form. This is a big no. Okay, we're going to write a yes or no next to each of these. Actually, why don't you guys take a quick minute and look at each one of these and put a Y or an N whether you think it's factored. And then we'll share out and go over it. So pause this, go look through, and put a yes or a no next to each. So I'm going to obviously give you the answers now since I'm not there to discuss it with you guys. The second one is a yes. Okay, the -2 is being multiplied by the x plus 8, which is being multiplied by the 3x minus 5, and it is set equal to 0. Number 3 is no. This plus 7 is an extra term that is not being multiplied by the rest of it, so it's not considered factored. And number 4 is also no, because that is in standard form, all separate terms. Before I scroll down, if you were to solve each of these, let's review that. So we solved by square roots, solved by the quadratic formula, and solved by factoring. So for number 1, you should notice that there is no b term. So square roots would be the quickest. Add over the 20, divide by 4, and square root both sides. Number 2, because it is factored, you're going to solve by factoring. Just set your factors equal to 0 to get your x-intercepts. Number 3 is in vertex form, so you would also solve by square roots. Move the 7, get rid of the 3 halves, square root both sides, and then deal with the 5 and the 9 inside the parentheses. And the last one before I scroll down, we have it in standard form, so trinomial. You could either attempt to factor that by guessing and checking your factors and setting them equal to 0, or if factoring is not working, then you could go ahead and try and do the quadratic formula. I'm going to scroll down, talk about the last couple. I'm losing my headphones here. All right, so 5 through 8. 5 is no, lots of terms there, definitely not factored. Because there are so many terms and there is a b term present, you got to get everything on one side, and you could attempt to factor it or do the quadratic formula. I think with this one, factoring will take too long, it'll be messy, and you might want to just jump right to the quadratic formula. Number 6 is yes. These are all held together through multiplication. It's set equal to 0, so you would solve by factoring. Set them equal to 0. And 7 and 8 are no for the same reason. They initially look like they are factored, but they are not equal to 0. So technically, if you set it equal to 0, then that 8 and 2 will be a separate term that's not being multiplied, so it's no longer considered factored. So you guys would have to distribute this all out, get it into standard form, okay, set it equal to 0, and then either try to refactor it or do the quadratic formula, and that's the same for both. So again, you'd have to distribute this all out into standard form, set it equal to 0, and then try to refactor or use the quadratic formula once it's equal to 0. The last one, when you distribute, you will get a b term, so you definitely can't solve that by square roots, even though it looks short and simple like the square root problems usually are. So that's it for today's video, just short and quick. You guys are going to work on the Unit 2 review today. You're going to work on the Unit 2 review tomorrow, and then to get ready for the Unit 2 exam after that. Good luck.